What's good, everybody? Today's video is a student request video. We're going to focus on how to solve a radical equation that has more than one radical from start to finish. As we start this video off, guys, students normally want to come in and their first step is to square both sides. But when we do this, we make the problem 10 times harder, and this is what I mean. So after we square both sides, this is what we get. And the issue with this step is that we do not get rid of all the radicals. And right now, we're only going to focus on this part of the equation. So after we multiply radical 2x plus 1 with itself, we get the same thing without the radical. Now, when I multiply radical 2x plus 1 and negative radical x, it gives us a complicated expression of radical x times 2x plus 1. Now, when I go ahead and I start distributing the negative radical x to itself and to radical 2x plus 1, this expression in the middle is going to repeat itself. And then we know at the very end that negative radical x times negative radical x is just positive x. But that middle term becomes so much more complicated, guys. So let's just put an x through this, right? This is what we do not want to do. So let's say we started this problem back over. So let's rewrite this. This is what we want to do when we're solving an equation with two radicals. Let's isolate the more complicated radical, right? So we're going to isolate this. So once I add radical x to both sides, this is what I should have on my screen, or on my paper, I should say. Radical 2x plus 1 is equal to radical x plus 1. Now at this step, we could square it and get rid of the radical. But there's something that we also have to be very mindful of. This process is going to be different for both sides. So on the left-hand side, once we square, we're going to get the same expression without the radical. But on the right side, guys, please remember that both those terms are not under the radical. So we have to FOIL. So I'm going to have radical x plus 1, and I'm going to multiply that by radical x plus 1. So as I FOIL now, this is what we're going to have on the second hand, the right side of the equation. We're going to have x plus radical x plus radical x plus 1. This is what happens when we FOIL. Left-hand side stays the same. So now I combine my like terms in the middle, and what we should have is 2x plus 1 is equal to x plus 2 radical x plus 1. So now we're thinking about, hey, we have to combine like terms. So that means 2x and x, and then we're going to combine positive 1 and positive 1. So on the next line, what we should have for this equation is x is equal to radical x. Radical 2x, I'm sorry. So now at this step, guys, we've simplified, and now we want to get rid of the radical. So we're going to square both sides. After I square both sides, we're going to get x squared is equal to 4x. So now at this step, guys, we can create a quadratic equation, meaning we could set this equation equal to 0. So once I subtract 4x, I'm going to have x squared minus 4x is equal to 0. So here goes the quadratic equation, right? Doesn't have three terms, but this is the quadratic equation we created. So now if I want to finish factoring it, let's pull out x. So I pull out x, I have x minus 4 is equal to 0. So I know one of my factors, x is equal to 0, and then I set x minus 4 equal to 0. And as a result, I'm going to get x is equal to positive 4. Now that we solved the equation, right, we can always go back and plug both those answers in to check if there are extraneous solutions, but we're not going to do that this video. I'm going to link another video down below if you need help with that. But we really hope this video was helpful for you guys on how to solve radical equations that have more than one radical. Smash the button, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments for future videos you guys would like to see on our channel. Or if you found this video helpful today, thank you guys so much for joining us today on Algebra 1 with Mr. Peters.